Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
How fun was Keith and the Girl week?
Oh, really the best. The fact that we can do it virtual is a whole new world. So thanks for coming out, everybody. Katg week, we do it once a year. And if you were there, you know how much fun it was.
Last year, this year, because of COVID, of course, we had to do things virtually. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. Yeah. Xerxes does a great job. You do a fantastic job. I might. And show after show, I thought was a blast. I really did.
So fun.
Do you want to hear your name on the show or a shout out? You know, someone you love or hate. I don't care. KeithandTheGirl.com/shout out to get more information. I bring it up because I want to talk about listener Liz. She won at poker.
She beat me out. She knocked me out. And that apparently we're rewarding that behavior with a shout out.
Liz knocked Chemda out during the Keith and the Girl poker tournament during Keith and the Girl week. Won the following shout out. Here's what she says. I'd like to give thanks to the following people that have helped me cope with the barren hellscape of the last 13 months. Tony Fauci. She knows him as Tony. Scientists in general. My BetterHelp.com therapist. Netflix, Hulu, Prime. Whoever created TikTok. My local Amazon delivery drivers, the Keith and the Girl chat party people. Last but not least, Keith and Chemda, thanks for all the free virtual content to VIP members. I'd also like to say zero thanks, it's getting political, to Donald Trump. Fuck him and his family and friends and supporters. To say he is a pile of rotting garbage would be an insult to garbage. Also, this show is not political enough. There you have it.
Wow, we weren't kidding. Like, you can shout out whoever you love and hate. She got both in one.
I see.
KeithandTheGirl.com/shout out. That is how you get the shout out on the show. She won it by knocking me out. I'm still going to shout her out because she's so sweet and so fun in our Wednesday night chat.
Join us tonight at the chat. KeithandTheGirl.com/chat. Chemda and I will be there. All right. We also had during this week, that week of events, backstage passes, so you can come and see us get ready for the show. The fun part to me would be seeing the guests setting up. Do they have their microphones? Do they have their headphones? Do they have to be told to open a computer?
Yeah, like Doug Benson shows up with no headphones again, and Xerxes goes, do you have headphones? And Doug goes, I have headphones because you ask me to put them on every time, and I don't want to. So Xerxes goes, okay, can you put them on?
Right. I mean, by now we know where these people keep their headphones.
Right. We know that they're going to reach to their left and get the headphones.
Yeah. Second door on the left. And, it's weird too, when we know some of these people, they have their own podcasts and we're like, yeah, we're not going to do it the way you do.
Right. That's totally good enough, but we're going to just maybe turn that knob over there that I know you have.
Elaine was part of the backstage fun. She said, thanks so much. It was fun sitting in on the backstage shows. I didn't know it'd be so intimate, and I was a bit too freaked to really participate, but she had fun, and that's good. Bethany writes, happy birthday, Keith. Oh, wow. The live show with the backstage pass was so much fun. I was seriously crying with laughter. That's how it started with that Keith and the Girl episode that's in your feed right now. Thank you for putting on these events. It's obvious so much time and effort goes into the production of this whole week. Highs of the night, Keith's bit at the start of the show, even funnier with the redo. I'm curious to see if that makes it to the podcast version. No, it did not. That was a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
That was behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes. And the whole mic check experience with Christian's accidental racism, mixing up Calvin and Xerxes, and his reason was that he couldn't see who was talking. They don't really sound similar. That was behind-the-scenes gold.
Oh, God.
Low, not being prepared with questions for anyone. But I'm grateful for all the work that went into putting this event on and the whole week's events. Let's see. I'm grateful for Xerxes and Newsy for their work behind the scenes and on camera, and for anyone else that helped make everything run smoothly. And I'm grateful for you both for dreaming up these fun shows for us and creating the space to enjoy these events with the community. This week is motivation for me to get more involved in the chat and forums. Hearts, hearts, hearts. We'll be there tonight. I'm so excited for the rest of the week. She wrote at the time, Keith, good luck tonight. She's referring to silent trailers, and the kid is back. I'm not going to tell you who won, but the kid is back. No, I knew I had to, because eventually it's gonna be ridiculous if I keep losing like I was, right? I have to win. And
You do have to win, otherwise we have to cancel the whole show. So no
right.
pressure. But what was fun is I think we all won because Lacey Goranson, okay, Becky from Roseanne, or should I say the Connors, excuse me,
Right.
starts a whole strip teasing thing.
Yeah.
She starts taking off clothes. Wendy starts taking off clothes. I think Doug and Gilbert started taking off clothes. And it was a whole extra layer. Yes, pun.
I started with the tie. I took it off when things got heated and the party began. She says, just take 1 minute at a time. Remember to breathe and relax your face. You've got this. That's right. Little old Matt mentioning VIP night. That's in your VIP package right now. A crossover event. Daddy Issues, Diamond Dogs, Q&A. Last week on Keith and the Girl. Every time the new hosts of their shows came on, the old host stayed. So people could ask Ken questions about my dad. And Ken, as my dad, can answer. Chemda was on Diamond Dogs, the third female to ever be on that show. Very exciting.
Thank you. I think I got all the answers right. Also, we thought that show would be an hour long. It was over 2 hours.
Yes.
Yeah, we're like, I think we'll have like a little bit to talk in this section and a little bit to say in this section. And it was just because we're all friends. Some of us are family. And it was just this free flowing, basically shitting on Keith's dad and getting to know everybody a little more.
Well, I talked about the cards that I got from my dad. He knows everything at keithandthegirl.com/dad. I'm the one who said, hey, at a certain point, you were rating me thinking you were rating your ex, hitting on her. I know everything. It's disgusting. My ex. I don't know who's who.
Neither does he.
Somebody was hitting on somebody. I knew about it. So I tell him, and then he goes, oh, you're not talking to me because of that? Well, I'm not talking to you. And then all of a sudden, I just get a birthday card. Hey, happy birthday. Like, what? Okay. Because I'll tell you what, if you accused me of all the stuff I accused you about, I think we're done for a bit.
Yeah, I don't know how to tell you this. You are your dad's best friend.
I am. I'm the closest thing he got. And I'm saying, no, I catfished you.
Right. Yeah.
You are my dad.
You are the most interaction he had that year and in general. And you were pretending to be someone else. So he thought for a second that your ex-wife was his best friend.
Yeah.
Like she is pausing her day to get back to him and his Corinthians or whatever the fuck he wants to talk about that day. The one time he met a woman and he definitely could have fucked her, but he's, above that. Like all these stories, she's like, oh yeah, I definitely have time in my schedule for you.
Right.
And also, by the way, I think you're hot 80-year-old and I'm just turned 30.
Well, looking back, if somebody gives me a boner, I'd like to think they were my friend. So me and my son are now good friends. So after those cards that I talked about the other day, I got an email from my dad. And it said, and we talk about this in that VIP show for a minute. In case you are interested, no subject. In case you are interested, I sang you happy birthday while standing in the dining room. Happy birthday, Keith.
That's okay. So Sarah McLachlan wrote a song basically taking all these like not emails at the time, like letters in the mail from stalkers and people who are obsessed with her and turned it in and I will be the one to hold you down, kiss you so hard, I'll take your breath away. And we were all singing it like, oh, I'll take your breath away. That's like a love thing. No, she's talking about like her stalkers who want to kill her. Right. I feel like that's the relationship you have with your dad. He's this is the kind of email that a stalker would write to a famous person. I was standing in the middle and I felt your presence. And if you were here, I'd sing it to you. So anytime you're ready. Oh, I also remember in the East Village one time running into somebody. This person was a little delusional. I'm not sure if they were homeless or not, but they told me how Madonna is good friends with them. And that she sends them her latest thing, like she's, getting divorced from so-and-so and she's not feeling good. This guy was somehow on Madonna's mailer and he's thinking that she is directly emailing him with updates about her life. And he's talking about how like he always wishes her well, and his good friend Madonna. I feel like that email that you got from your dad is on par with this kind of thinking. I will mail this person and they'll have to love me. I'm that good. We're that close a friend.
Happy birthday. You can't argue with happy birthday. So obviously the card and email was so well done that I'm not only going to forgive him, we won't ever have to talk about it.
Right.
Because if you go to /dad, it's very clear that I was behind this whole thing. So there's no way he can ever acknowledge it and never admit it. But we'll just move on because it was so beautiful to hear. In case you are interested, I never responded to any letters, no matter whether they're about you, whether they were about my mom in assisted living. I never wrote you back. In case you're interested, I sang you happy birthday while standing in the dining room. Again, never even happened. He's been belting out a whole song. Happy birthday, Keith. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful words.
Did you write back to it?
Yeah, that one I did. No, of course not. No.
Right back picture didn't happen. And then I picture him in his underwear and a ratty t-shirt because your mom isn't doing laundry for him anymore. And he's holding up something like what the Statue of Liberty is holding and just going, this is for my son.
Yes.
Like he's regal for thinking about you. A father sending a happy birthday card wants so much credit. So much credit. I sent you and I made it. Like, what else are you doing with your life that I'm supposed to thank you up and down for this card? And by the way, if the greatest thing you did this year for your son, I'm talking to all of you dads, the greatest thing you did for your son was send him a happy birthday card and he's 40 something. I don't know. Revisit your relationship and what the fuck you're good for.
Right. But a fun week all around. And the card is
happy
fun.
Birthday, Keith. Sorry. I also stood with Xerxes in the middle of the living room, obviously, and sang happy birthday to you.
I hope everybody did.
It absolutely happened.
It's fantastic. I had sex on my birthday, intercourse. Now I know what you're thinking. But you had these events and you must be tired. So are you nervous that you're going to perform? Okay. Blue Chew. I call it the set it and forget it tablet. Don't even have to think about what's working downstairs. I show up, it's going to be there. Right. So I gave her a nice doinker. And I didn't have to be worried or nervous about, hey, did I get enough rest, etc. Blue Chew. Okay, get it. It's easy. Somebody wrote me, a Keith and Girl listener said, yeah, it is easy. It really is. You log on, you talk to a doctor, you go, hey, doc, I'd like to get one of these tablets. Doctor goes, surprise, by the way, everybody passes. Doctor goes, okay. You start getting the tablets in the mail. You pay $5 for shipping when you first try it out. Other than that, it's free. That's the deal. Give it a go. Try Blue Chew free when you use promo code KTG at checkout. $5 shipping. That's bluechew.com. Promo code KTG. Receive your first month free. And there you have it. Thank you, Blue Chew, for sponsoring the podcast. All guys listening, you can thank me. All right. There you have it. All right. Now we have to get to the big news. Okay. Everybody, the whole world's talking about this. Turns out that former Bachelor Colton Underwood has come out as gay. What? What? You're telling me this is on the cover of every paper. I have to assume you're telling me Colton Underwood, a bachelor, meaning all these women are vying for his love.
So he was the main guy?
He was the guy.
That's funny. I love it.
He was not there for the now. Of course, this is frivolous, so I really don't care. But if I'm forced to give an opinion, he should have to go to prison. Oh, I knew I was gay since I was 5. I just came out of the closet. Oh, you did. You did. But under TV oath, you said you're there for the right reasons. You just couldn't find the right part. What if he was straight, but he never really dated? And then he sees all these insane women. Because if you go on The Bachelor, no matter who you are, you're nuts.
Okay. Territory is starting to get crumbly, Keith.
Well, I'm saying maybe he thought that's what women were. And he's like, I must be gay. Now he's going to be on the gay version and be like, I don't know what the fuck I am. Everybody's a weirdo on TV, love. But that's where we're at. He says he's the happiest and healthiest he's ever been in his life. Quote, I'm gay. And I came to terms with that earlier this year, and I've been processing it. I'm the happiest and healthiest I've ever been in my life. So good for but these poor ladies that gave them a summer from all their jobs that apparently their bosses just let them leave for a couple months. I'm sure they're great at it. That they were just wasting their time, and that's sad, of course.
Did anyone get married from The Bachelor? Like, do they do that?
I know they have. I know there's been divorces. I know sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I know there's been divorces.
But there's no like ceremonious, like this is the last episode, they have to get married sort of thing?
No, there's not. They should have to get married by law.
I don't see why not, because then they could annul it on the back end, but that's on you. I was watching this for love.
And you can't annul it. It's locked in a house.
Well, you can annul it. Like you could have, been interested in this person and then not be interested in that person. There have been short marriages.
Yes, but you get the hardest court fines possible.
You're so into the relationship.
Yeah, you're so into it.
If you can't make it work, how could the rest of us?
Right. Now, the big news, of course, is Derek Chauvin, the cop that killed George Floyd. We all saw it. He was found guilty on all 3 charges that he was up for, that I'll tell you about, of course. Were you watching it in real time?
No, but I wouldn't have guessed that he would have gone to jail. I wouldn't have guessed that he would be convicted.
Right.
And I saw it. I saw the video that somebody put together from all the different camera angles so that you can have like a straight timeline of everything that happened. It was crazy unjust, but we've seen cops kill people on camera a lot and they find a way out. So this was shocking.
That's what it is. We're shocked by this. So, it's not kosher. 10.5 hours of deliberation. Now, again, I don't even know what they said. That's a short amount of time. What takes so long? I'd like to think they got together and said, you know what? We're going to need one more steak dinner. And then I think we have our answer. What takes 10.5 hours?
I don't know, because you only have but so many thoughts, right? You're going around in circles. And I don't think they have a mediator to be like, you already said that. You don't get to say that again. Let's vote. Was it coming around half and half the whole time or something?
Maybe they didn't. I'll tell you what the charges were. Maybe they just got confused. Like, tell me what 3rd-degree murder is again, and 2nd-degree manslaughter, and 1st-degree. What is that? Oh, okay, yeah, I guess I'm down with that. We're sitting there waiting to hear if a guy who murdered somebody is going to be convicted as a murderer. But thank goodness, thank goodness. So he's not sentenced yet, by the way. His sentencing begins in 8 weeks. But, for what it's worth, we do know what the maximum sentences could be. He was charged with 2nd-degree murder that alleges that Chauvin caused George Floyd's death without intent. Maximum sentence, 40 years. That's the most, but without intent. Then guilty 3rd-degree murder alleges that Chauvin acted with depraved indifference to human life. That sounds worse to me, but that's a max sentence of 25 years.
That does sound worse.
Right?
Yeah. One, you did it by accident. The second one, number 2,
right?
You did by accident. Number 3, you didn't give a shit. And so this is likely to happen.
And then charge number 3 was 2nd-degree manslaughter, alleges that Chauvin acted with culpable negligence, which created an unreasonable risk of death. Maximum sentence is 10 years.
For sure, it would one.
It would take me 10 hours to understand the differences and why one's less time than the other, I guess.
Right. He did all of it simultaneously, but he had complete disregard, but it also, what was it, 46 minutes? You start thinking like you want this guy to die.
You mean seconds?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, it was 46 minutes.
He wasn't on his knee for 46 minutes.
Look it up. Yeah.
46 minutes?
Wasn't that what Chappelle's whole thing was called? It was like 46 minutes and whatever seconds. I could be wrong, but and he called in for an ambulance, but he told them not to run lights or like go the slowest. He put in some sort of code where the ambulance wouldn't get there on time. So at that point, you're showing responsibility for what the outcome is, aren't you?
8 minutes, 46 seconds, by the way.
That's where they
got the guy would be like ordering a sandwich or something with
it felt long.
It was long. It's still long.
So 9 minutes long about.
Of course it is. When you're one of these right-wing pundits, George Shapiro, Tommy Lauren, Tucker Carlson. I guess you just know what side you pick on things because that's, you're far right-wing. Cops are always right. The civilians are wrong. I'm seeing them talk, and of course they're saying what a terrible thing this is that happened to a cop. Don't you still check the world? Like, didn't it seem the world, not just because I lean left, the world seemed to agree in this one. Like, yes, this was too much.
Yes, but it reminds me of when I was going to school, like even as a small kid, as far back as I could remember, there were idiot teachers and there were teachers that you respect, right? And you'd go home and you'd have to explain to your mom, or I did, like, hey, this teacher, I don't know how to tell you this. This teacher doesn't count. They talk out of their ass and I'm doing fine. You know what I mean? And my mother didn't realize until she went to community college herself way later after we were all out of school. And she was like, I remember, and this was one of the greatest moments of her admitting shit to me ever. It's like, I remember when you guys were talking about how this teacher is like this, so you don't take them seriously. This teacher's like that. She's like, I passed or got an A because I gave this teacher baklava. She made homemade baklava. And she's like, I knew I would win her over with that. This other teacher, all I had to do with this. And this teacher, I had to study and actually like pass the class legitimately. And it was her waking up to, when she was growing up, teachers were always right. They're always looking after the kids. They are the authority and they're very smart because otherwise, how would they be teachers, professors, or like even in that line of work until she had the same experience of like, oh, you think that people give a degree to teachers and that makes them geniuses, better, more knowledgeable. And she finally learned that's not what it means. I feel like this is it. Cops are there to protect us. We have good experiences where cops show us the way, like where they pull us over and they have respect for us. And it just, you don't have that experience, even though you're looking around and everyone's talking a certain way. You're just willfully ignorant of it.
Right. No, I get you. I remember I had a roommate that was a teacher, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. Okay. How about that?
Right.
That was 18 fucking years. Wow.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And they're your roommate and they don't clean the toilet, and they're just like another shitty human being who has the authority over a group of human beings all day.
Right. So, well, you hope this verdict is the start of some kind of change, and then we can work on, mass shootings not being used as my morning alarm clock when they pop on my phone, right? Maybe we can get to that. There's an Ohio teen that was caught with an AK-47 in New York City, Times Square subway station. His lawyer is saying he was confused about New York gun laws.
You know what?
18 years old.
If I can show you how to not be confused about the gun law, right, you have to show me how you were confused. Like, what did you Google?
Right. The judge needs to ask, you were confused about the gun law. If you're confused about gun laws, you can never have a gun, no matter what state you just lie to him, right? No matter what. You see Dead to Me, and now the mom had a cop friend and tries to trick the son. Like, Mom, the cop's going through my bag. Is there anything you could do? I can't do anything. Meanwhile, she set it up. Anyway, that's what you got to do. You have to have the judge say to the kid, you'll never get a gun in any state if you don't know the law. Do you know the law? And he's got to decide, well, is he a fucking idiot? Or can he talk his way out of this and still be able to have
You get off because we're going to 100% believe you. Yeah. You had no idea about gun laws. So you don't know how to look up gun laws. You don't know how to ask anyone. Right. You don't know how gun laws work. You never get a gun again, but you get to walk free. I love it.
An attorney for the 18-year-old. Now that's funny that he is an attorney. Sadiq Teague. This is the 18-year-old, his name, said the young man did not, quote, understand the complexities of different laws when he was carrying an unloaded AK-47, a fully loaded magazine, and a gas mask. He didn't know the complexities of New York versus the complexities of Pennsylvania. You don't carry a gun, an AK-47 in Times Square. It's really not that complex. And I never went to school for it, but I'm right.
Well, Keith, you immigrated here from the country of the good old US of A.
Yeah.
Were you that confused?
I never brought an AK-47 to the mall. Like, I still would kind of think. I think one of those things I'd look up, I'm going to a concert. Do concerts allow AK-47s?
Well, I feel like if there's no metal detector, then you're not like we're clear and good to go. If there was a metal detector, you're asking me not to bring guns. So
Yeah, and if there's
so confusing.
And if there is a metal detector, I would just hand the person at the front door standing there my gun. I'd be like, "Oh, thanks. I guess you hold this." And I'll go shopping in Target.
Because that's what you do at an airport. You go, "Oh shit, did I pack the AK? Fuck."
Yeah. It's conceivable, says this lawyer, Jacqueline Phipps. It's conceivable that a teenager might not understand the complexities of all these laws and the differences in most states and the ways in which laws in all the states coincide. Now, if you're Jacqueline,
you know what? Now he doesn't get to travel either. It's too complex.
Yeah, he doesn't get it. This guy, yeah. He should have to live with the latest Bachelor couple that just got married. That's what I think. If you're Jacqueline's kid, you're the lawyer's kid. You probably try. I don't want to say get away with murder, but you get away with whatever you can, right? Like, well, Mom, it's conceivable idea because they just changed the age of vaccine. I don't know the age of weed being legal, but is it anybody can smoke at any time? You're 15. I don't know. Yeah, it's conceivable that a person doesn't know if they can bring an AK-47 into Times Square. I don't like that. That's work. This is different. This is common sense. That's work.
I know that you came home and found me completely gone with your car. You didn't say that I can borrow it or anything. You thought it was stolen at first, and then you saw that your baby was missing from her bed. But is it conceivable that I was walking in my sleep and thought I was getting you flowers from the 7-Eleven and end up getting a Slurpee? Yeah, I'm confused.
Everybody thinks you don't want a lawyer for parents. I think you do. They're morons. They seem like idiots. Like, there's a chance. That's right. There's a chance. I'm going to bed, Dad. There's always a chance. Manhattan Judge Melissa C. Jackson rejected the argument, and the prosecutor's request that bail be set to $25,000 as she ordered that Teague stay behind bars until his next court date. This is an extremely serious case. The case is up to 15 years in prison. Also, another thing, maybe the attorney works for the DA or something, right? Or, is a public defender, and they know it's bullshit. It's like, hi, I'm here for the bullshit case. Hey, the laws are complex? Well, that's stupid. Okay, I'm seeing you tomorrow, Bob.
Did he take it out?
It doesn't say. It doesn't say how they found it.
Because it's interesting how he got caught, because you could just walk around with a gun. Right. But there are, like, in Times Square, Xerxes was telling me how, like, you are being watched in Times Square. There's way too many people for it not to be too dangerous. So as soon as something happens, there's a whole team of everything that, goes into play, right? And there's a way to check the person's walk. Like, people who know about guns, they know that you're walking different because you have a gun on your hip, even if it's concealed. They know by the way you're walking where your gun is and that you have a gun.
Right. I didn't know I can't have a gas mask and a gun. Like, oh, we didn't either. You can't now. Now you're adding more laws. I just thought I should have a gas mask. Any adult, speaking of which, 21 and over, was able to get free weed in Union Square. 420.
Well, for the first time, we had 420 where weed is completely, well, aside from federally, but where weed is recreationally legal. So it's the first time that people are smoking without breaking laws. And so it's also the first time that people were allowed to give weed out for free as a company or as whatever.
Well, this person did. He called his thing Joints for Jabs. And if you showed a valid coronavirus vaccination card, he gave you a joint for free.
That's cool.
He said his name is Todd Hinden. He's very pleased by the turnout. I'll put and there was a turnout. I'll put pictures on the website. 55 years old. He wore a green suit and a top hat with weed leaves depicted on it. Reason why we're doing this is so people get vaccinated, but we're also trying to get people to be aware of the cannabis situation in New York. We're trying to get the federal government to get cannabis off the Controlled Substances Act, which means that we can put our money in the bank We can buy, sell, grow cannabis at any format, not have to worry about the federal government putting people in prison. By noon,
the federal government is full of criminals when they're classifying weed the same as heroin.
right.
And when they're saying the classification means that weed has no benefits, zero benefits. How are you saying that at this point in time? What rock are you under right now to be able to keep saying it has no benefits and that's why it's staying there?
By noon, more than 500 joints packed with the indica strain Rogue River. You ever hear Rogue River, by the way, in your travels?
No, I haven't.
Were given away. Organizers expected to hand out a total of 3,000 by the end of the event, which was at 4:20 p.m.
Wow.
This person, Camilla Henderson, she was there. She said, when we heard about this, we just had to come out. She was vacationing from Florida. I see the police are here and nobody's getting arrested, so I guess it's all right. You have to stand there for a bit and be like, wait it out. Maybe it's entrapment.
It has been different ever since it was legal. Like the other day, I'm like, oh, let's turn this corner before we smoke. And Xerxes goes, we're not doing anything illegal anymore. We don't have to hide. And I didn't even because, I smoke on the street. I didn't ever feel like I was hiding that much, like not ever, but I didn't feel like I was hiding that much at this point because up until a couple weeks ago, you'd get maybe a ticket, but you don't want to be stopped by the police. And now there's like a thing on you. So you still feel that agita. And yeah, now they really can't say anything. That's crazy.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
We're not doing anything illegal. I have to remember that constantly.
And there's a freedom. And it's I'm like a child. Like, look at just walking by people.
Yeah. I mean, we try not to walk by people too much because of the smoke, but it's
I don't
New
blow.
York.
I don't blow like an asshole, but yeah.
Yeah. Sure. There have been times where I'm just like holding it in until a person passes.
Right. Sure. Of course you should. You're polite. I did get my first of the 2 Pfizer shots yesterday at the Jacob Javits Center. Huge, big. I'll put some pictures up. Huge, literally military operation.
Whoa. You went to the Javits Center for this? It's ginormous.
It is so. I went like 10:45 a.m. Kyle went today 11 a.m. So easy breezy, not packed at all. On the website, I'll show you a picture. The second picture is what my situation looked like. The first picture is when they started outside. They're back to back. So I'm not sure how long. I just saw the picture, so maybe it was a month or 2 ago. But now there's no line, there's no hassle. I was in and out. The arm feels tender. I told she goes, the person give it to me. Are you going back to work later today? And I said, no, but I was going to go to the gym. And part of me was hoping she was going to say, that's a dumb idea. And then I could tell Kyle, it's a dumb idea. She said, it's a good idea. God damn it.
Did you go to the gym?
Yes.
Did it hurt?
No, she said you should move it after you get the shot. That's better so that it doesn't hurt. So apparently that was a good idea. So yeah, it was tender. I started sneezing a lot. I don't know if that is a coincidence, but last night and this morning I was sneezing a lot, but that was it.
Oh my God. I just yesterday or whatever day it is, I sneezed like 4 times in a row and I'm like, I got COVID. I don't know how I got it, but it's here. It's here. Am I breathing different? I feel like I'm breathing different. That was 4 sneezes and a breathe different. I don't know. This is okay. And I know people keep asking me if I'm going to get the vaccine, but I got to talk to my doctor first to see if there's anything weird about the multiple diseases that I have mixed with this thing or how my body's going to react.
Well, give him a call because I'll tell you what you're missing out on. First of all, you make a phone call. If you're over 60, you can just show up to any site in New York. If otherwise, you make a phone call and you set an appointment. That call took about 20 minutes, but you're not even listening. They're like, we have to read you something. But I'm like, okay, me and Kyle are making breakfast or something. I'm like, sounds good, And do you have cancer? Do you have whatever? Like, and then that was it. Then you show up. They ask you the same questions again. You just go, no. You've been to the post office. You know how it works. No. Then you go to the next person and they give you the shot, and then you go to another room where you wait 15 minutes. But then I realized like nobody's timing you. I saw somebody get up. I'm like, oh, we just get up. Okay. I'll take 3 waters to go, and I get up. But in the waiting room is a band, the harp, flute, and violin to calm you down.
Wow.
It's pretty. And then I got my sticker. Just promise adults a sticker. Chemda, you'll get a sticker.
Okay, I'm going.
All right. 50, like this is still important. This thing isn't dying down. In New York, 53 people died from COVID. All right. It's your civic duty.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's in one day that it's still killing people, and it's still a pandemic. And I think, with a lot of people getting the shot, it's like, oh, it's over now, at least for me. But maybe does it feel like that? Does it feel like what smoking feels like now? Like, oh, I'm not doing anything illegal. Are you a little more at ease in public because you have the vaccine?
No.
Or do you have to get a second one?
Well, I have to get my second one, but apparently this takes 2, but the second one's, better, of course. So I wanted to start with the second one. They wouldn't let me. No, I wear the mask as much as I did before, meaning if nobody's around me outside, I don't. But if I'm passing crowds, then of course I do. If I'm indoors, I always do. So I'll keep doing that. But I do know if I go to somewhere, if there's a party and somehow I knew that everybody had their vaccination, I wouldn't wear a mask and I'd feel completely comfortable. I know.
Well, that's the rule. If you could be around people maskless if they got a vaccine.
Right.
So you're going to start going to parties where everyone's wearing a sticker. Bring your sticker.
Yeah, you got to bring your sticker.
And then like somebody shows up with their vote sticker and gets rejected and just starts crying.
Right.
What a world.
I'm reading the Biden administration is officially supporting Democrats' bid to grant statehood for Washington, D.C. Of course they should. Of course it should be a state. What's that saying? No taxation without representation. You don't tax me, but I don't get to have a say in things. Washington, D.C. is not a state. That's crazy. Washington, D.C. is bigger than Vermont. More people than Wyoming. I know. Yeah, of course it should be a state. But then it becomes political because DC is a Democrat, and that gives 2 more seats in the Senate to the Democrats. Which, by the way, but that shouldn't be is it okay? Is it because I'm registered Democrat that I'm saying this? I don't know, but it shouldn't matter.
Right.
It's a state. Get them to like you. Right. And if your house is on that block and that block doesn't like you, you're really fucking up. If you would, I would think maybe every time it switched from Democrat to Republican, the president you have, maybe that area would change too. Like, I don't know, we get an up close view and they're doing a good job. Like it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't matter. It just means more people want that. And that's what voting is.
Right.
That's it. It should not matter. But I thought it was going to be a big hullabaloo because we have to change the flag.
Yeah, you do have to add another star. I think the flag is so beautiful. I really do. And
it's uneven.
I don't know where they're going to put this star. My idea is because you look at this, you're like, oh, what star is my state? And you don't really know, right? I think there should be a chart that you can look up online. It tells you what star is your state, and the stars vary in size based on what it is. Like New York, let's be honest, pretty big fucking star on that flag. And then Kentucky is like a little star, kind of, closer to the end.
Shout out to Kentucky.
Shout out to Kentucky. I think that would be we only beat horses regularly. That's their sport. We also have bourbon here. Very good. Of course, you need it. Of course you do. So anyway, that's what they should do with the stars. But we'll see. In an Oval Office interview last May, President Donald Trump at the time said Republicans weren't stupid enough to add guaranteed Democratic seats to Congress. D.C. will never be a state, Trump said. You mean District of Columbia, a state? Why? So we could have 2 more Democratic, then he corrects himself, Democrat senators and 5 more congressmen? No, thank you. That'll never happen. Well, there you go. That's a good thought for citizens.
No, you live in this country. You live in the U.S. and you're not a state. Like, what are you? You're not an island. Right. It's right here. It's next to the other ones. I don't understand why, unless like only political representatives live there and are not voting. You know what I mean? Unless it's
Right.
like the queen lives there or something and there's no point, but regular citizens live there and they can't, what?
They debate if Puerto Rico is going to be a state, and DC's like, I'm right here. Texas or Florida is debating about seceding, and it's like, we're right here.
Oh my God. Yeah. Let Texas go. Pick up DC. You don't have to change the flag.
Right.
Texas has been wanting to be their own thing for a long time. They don't even wave the American flag. They wave the Texas flag. Do you know what the New York flag looks like?
I do, but I love flags.
Because you looked it up because you know what Texas flag looks like, and that's uneven. You have to know what your own fucking flag looks like. Yes. That's the only reason anyone knows their own state flag, because we know what the Texas flag looks like.
Yes, correct.
Why would I know what the Texas flag looks like? I've been there once for like 4 days or something.
Right.
Well, I've been to LA a million times. San Francisco. What's the California flag?
I think it's like a bear eating something. I think that's a tough one. They didn't work together, the states, to design a flag. They didn't care about uniformity, but I guess that's the point. Oh, well. Everybody, thank you for being part of this week's events. Make sure you check out VIP, and make sure, if you haven't heard these VIP shows, you get a crash course in one episode. You get Diamond Dogs. You get Daddy Issues with My Brother. And it really was blowing people's mind, because some people didn't hear that show until this past week and be like, holy shit, Ken has receipts too? Yeah.
And what was fun about watching it live is you and your brother, you look alike. There's like 10 years difference. One of you better not murder anyone, because
the other one's getting in trouble, right?
Just point at another one. Doesn't matter. It wasn't me. This guy. Are you looking at that guy? It's amazing.
And of course, Newsy with Q&A is in that episode. All in one jam-packed episode. Rod and Karen Morrow from the Black Guy Who Tips. They did last week on Keith and the Girl. So they were describing what happened the second before they jumped in. And that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, because they were live watching 3 episodes before they came on, and they reviewed those. And if you've never been a VIP member of the Keith and the Girl VIP, you can become one for free. Go to keithandthegirl.com/VIP. We turned on the code free trial, one word, free trial, and you'll get 2 weeks for free to try everything. And you'll get, May 22nd, we have a new silent trailers. You'll get a ticket for that. For free. You get to check out all of the episodes and the shows that Keith was talking about. See if you like it, and then stay on if you want. If not, 2 weeks for free. We're letting you go.
I'll tell you what I would do. I would check out that latest VIP show if I'm new to VIP. I'd go to keithandthegirl.com/awards. I'd check out some of those, and I'd go to keithandthegirl.com/dad. And if you're not intrigued, I'd see a doctor. Okay. Thank you very much, and thank you for sharing this episode.
keithandthegirl.com